Gangplank, you know, should get that blue buff over to Nidalee that game.
Yeah. Well, first ban's come through. Nidalee gone away. Yeah, Karsa, that's not exactly a surprise here. It's one of his very best champions. Mordekaiser gone away from the Brazilians. Gangplank, blue side banned. That is usually not the case.
Interesting. I'm not a fan of blue side banning Gangplank. I feel like that's a pick everyone has to be able to play, and you can blind pick it, honestly.
I think you
can flex it.
You can make a case for doing it, but not as early as second ban. Third ban, perhaps, if the ban phase, you know, plays out differently, but with so many like raw OP champions already out, I think it's too early.
Nothing I would rather pick than a Gangplank as my first pick, but not for Pain Gaming. Maybe looking for Elise for Sir T in the jungle. Kalista could come in for BRTT as well, a pick we have seen him use before. And it is going to be a lot about for Pain Gaming. Can they beat Flash Wolves in the early game and then try and close it out? While our team was not always the greatest at closing out games, it's still the way for them they have to play against a team like this, who's shown in late game team fights they do really well.
Yep, well, we'll see if they can pry this open here. Last ban comes through Elise away from Sir T. Karsa still has plenty of tanks to play for himself. We'll see what Pain Gaming really wants.
I mean, I'd go Kalista here, personally, if I was Pain Gaming for BRTT, just to get that lane dominant AD carry. Not expecting it for NL, though.
Braum is a pick we assumed would be this high in value coming into the tournament, but a lot of matches have shown us that it wasn't really the case. A lot of these Kalista lanes picked into Braum with then a range support would just simply smash it in lane and just give your support the freedom to play super aggressively, always have an additional flash in that Fate Skull available.
So NL does take the Kalista for him, doesn't want any long range fast pushing champion. I guess once you get the Hurricane you can take down his waves fast, but not the same kind of playstyle. It does mean with the early Braum, as you just highlighted here before, I mean, if you go for double range lane, Flash Wolves have to be able to win that lane. Obviously, Tristana is going to be very difficult now, so I like that pick for BRTT into the Kalista and try and shut it down in the laning phase.
I just love watching Braum Tristana against Kalista plus range support because in an isolated spectrum, just 2v2 raw, it's a pure skill match. The problem is, the way to win that matchup requires you to aggressively dash or jump, depending whether Braum goes in or Tristana. With the wealth of teleports, and then bot lane party happens, and that's what makes it so hard. That's why very often Kalista Thresh will have the pressure, especially it is incredibly hard to take that lane down post level 6 because you can throw the Lantern down, Fate Skull out, pull your own Lantern and get out of there.
Boys, give me an Azir here for Kami. You're against Kalista. I love Azir into Kalista, the somewhat lower range AD carry. Against the Darius, he hates playing against an Azir, he gets knocked back by the wall, and it's a safe blind pick. Still, even though Maple will maybe be able to take like a LeBlanc into it or an Assassin into it, still, I wouldn't be surprised to see Azir coming for Kami.
You got the Pantheon shout crap up.
Yep. Dude hovering it again. Just to touch back on that lineup, last game we saw Tristana and Azir, and it's obviously weak if you fall behind early against the wealth of AoE, but Flash Wolves really don't have that much AoE in their lineup yet. Yes, you can also argue that Azir has an AoE effect, but mostly Azir and Tristana are very single target damage, but it should work well into what Flash Wolves have acquired. But finally, I even get to see the TF from Kami. I really enjoy watching him. Early cooldown boots, early home guards, a lot of teleports around the map. And that's what I'm looking for. Shut down Stake on Kalista. Shut down Kalista. I don't think Stake will be playing that. Shut down NL on Kalista and then start snowballing that way.
Yeah, he won with it once in the qualifier, banned against him twice. So not the highest priority, but here in this game wants to bring it out. Pain Gaming switching up the style just a little. The ever so common Gnar versus Darius matchup. We see it time and time again. But it seems that doesn't deter people from picking the champion anyway. Darius still, of course, very common.
Definitely going to be two fairly good lanes for Kami to choose on where he wants to go. Darius, who is going to be slowed down by the Frozen Mallet. Going for him, low mobility, that's a kill for you. Bottom lane again, Braum connects that stun or sets up for the stun and then TF down. So a lot of options here for the TF pick. Obviously Maple is looking to play in a more aggressive lane against it and try and shut it down in the laning phase.
So Ari's coming through, it's going to be interesting. Maple hoping to try to break out onto the enemy mid lane and keep him down, but Pain is running the very standard triple tank 2 backline threat here.
Yeah, what's going to help Maple break out of here is the cleanse as opposed to Kami's teleport. So Kami playing sustain heavy. If he gets poked out, yes, he can return to lane, but Maple looks to go aggressively. Even though he has a defensive summoner in cleanse, it allows you to just luck out of that gold card and then immediately keep on chasing Kami down. So it could be interesting to see at level 6 if we see any outlets.
Yeah, maybe I'm boring, but I do
you are.
Sure, fan of.
Sure.
I do kind of prefer when teams run teleport against Twisted Fate as well from your mid lane, like run Diana or Echo or whatever, something that can follow Twisted Fate when he goes, because now you're kind of all in on being able to shut him down in the laning phase. That's going to have to be the case for Maple, because otherwise double TP and of course the ulti from Twisted Fate is so much global pressure from Pain Gaming.
Sure, and you can always argue the other side of it being that teleport's cooldown so much longer than TF's Destiny. Like, do you try to match up to the strengths and not quite compare, or do you try to attack him where he's weaker? And that's just going to be what it's going to be up to then, is how well can Maple stop Kami from doing these kinds of things. It's going to be a great game, guys. So as we load onto the Rift, send your predictions to us over here in France. Tweet at LoL Esports with the hashtag PNG win or the hashtag FW win to vote for either Pain Gaming from Brazil or Flash Wolves from Taiwan and the LMS. And here we go into our 6th match of the, I'm going to say night at this point, guys. It's 8 p.m. here over in France. Night applies, and it's the last game of the first week.
I'd actually like to see a lane swap here from Pain Gaming. I feel they have the tools to get out of that lane swap better. It also opens up the map. Tristana can fast push towers, and TF roaming on longer lanes just becomes so much easier.
I want to see if Mabel gets punished for running planes, honestly. You highlighted why he's doing it just before, but even...
But I'm wrong.
Even for the even for the 2v2 fight that's probably going to happen around this lane now that Pain Gaming knows how Mabel has to win the lane, I would much rather have an Ignite, or at least like something that can take down Kami a bit more aggressive. Cleanse out of it sure is going to help, but the damage will already be unloaded.
Yeah, and there's varying opinions, but the consensus from many people is that a lane swap kind of makes mid lane farm oriented, a little more passive. So that is another reason why Pain Gaming may be looking for the lane swap. Obviously, they have a favorable matchup in Gnar versus Darius, but later on that matchup still plays the same way. There's no timing or no power spike or item spike that really defines that matchup. It's the same throughout the entirety of the game.
Yeah, definitely like Tristana and Braum in the late game. Every single time you can get them, I think Braum's the one of the best supports there with how much damage he can just remove. Single out targets.
We can talk about what happened in level 1 here. All 5 wards from Pain Gaming are on this northern quadrant of the jungle. I guess one in the mid lane counts, but meanwhile, you've actually got a very disparate start for the wards here of Flash Wolves, and the fact that they see no one from Pain at all means they've got to expect that Pain going for a very aggressive jungle start that they will not get punished for.
Since Pain Gaming is starting with their jungler and top laner on the top side for some double jungle, it does usually indicate that they're going for a quick fast push 3-mana 4-man, because after the 3 camps or the 2 camps, you're obviously going to get into a situation where if you move your jungle down, you allow the enemy top laner to teleport. Cheeky little move there again. Freak, I see you freaking out here. About to explain what happened.
So this is really smart by Dude, especially because of where the jungle start happened. He actually bunched up the minion wave before it got down the lane. Is going to guarantee that Flash Wolves minions push through Pains and it goes back towards their turret. It creates a freeze automatically, or at least it should.
If he wants to freeze, though, I think he's still going to opt for the fast push. It does make it so that you lose less minions on lane. If he wanted to freeze, he should have probably given level 2 to the Braum to allow him to roam. So knowing that the Dude went to the lane should indicate that they're still planning on fast pushing and diving that tower. But it does save you an extra minion for no cost at all.
So Flash Wolves right now, with how they were starting in the jungle, red buff, it does kind of force them now to move to top side at level 2, and they can't really go in and clear more of the jungle. If they do, at least they open up for Flash Wolves to sending guys and defend.
And that's exactly why they're going to be fast pushing. If they freeze, it's just too easy for the enemy to teleport. Kami, did he steal that?
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Brazilian faker!
Means
that
a
was
lot,
awesome.
though. A lot of experience in the early game he takes away. A lot. Some experience.
No, it's pretty significant. It's more than half the camp. He's going to get level 3 first in the wave, has it already. It's going to slightly slow down the enemy guys, but you can see NL starting to push this out.
So both teams are looking to fast push, but there's a big difference here in how early Mylon had to join on the top side. Because they started red buff and walked down to Raves up in that top side jungle, it means simply now he's been sharing experience with BRTT and Dude, where now we see how Flash Wolves are first joining in here with Stake.
Yeah, the correct move is then to instantly take that tower down and bounce it back as early as you can, while the opposing team is still actually trying to clear that tower. A little slow here on the side of Pain Gaming. They really want to tower down on the next wave, bounce it, and then they have no answer on the side of Flash Wolves because they're so far behind in tempo. They're behind the play.
Power right now.
Yeah. Pain will get the same amount of jungle camps. Surti is solo jungling right now and is going to get the same amount.
This is a massive problem for Stake though, because normally you want to be full HP, so once this tower dives, your top laner stays and gets it, and he goes back, he can sit and farm a little bit. But now he's so low, Stake will be forced to recall and return to now top lane, which is the way that was going to push away from him. So he's going to be behind compared to Mylon. He's already going to struggle a little bit in this matchup.
Very common Western lane swap style here. Well executed by PN Gaming. They started at the top side of the map, leaving them with almost no other plays available. But the one play they had to make, they made it beautifully.
And also a mistake by Flash Rolls. Because of all the damage they took, their bot lane had to recall to buy before they got met by this Tristana from BRTT, but they didn't finish the turret in time. So the lack in gold, all the money shared the way it is, and it's a surviving turret.
You can't make these mistakes at this level right here. It set you so far behind because you didn't gain anything. You don't get any extra experience really on your AD carry because he was still trying to fast push the wave. So you're now in a situation where Stake is in a very, very bad lane up top that's not going to push towards him against a ranged champion, and you didn't get any benefits for your AD carry.
Also, you allowed Tristana to push. Once she's pushing, it can be hard to stop her, and that removes a lot of the trading potential you have on the Kalista Thresh lane. You just want to like usually push them in and then poke them out with double ranged autos, and right now, PN Gaming comfortably in the bottom lane, comfortably in the top lane. Stake gets upper hand, but will still get out-traded. A lot of minions though on Mylon.
And you can see the damage going back and forth. The bleed actually makes it really fast to get to Mega Gnar, all those ticks of damage, so we'll heal a little bit thanks to that, but Karsa is coming in. Mega Gnar is on, hops once, gonna land the stun over the top of the knockup. Gets away cleanly.
Good stun. Really good flash as well from Mylon. So we're getting that Mega Gnar in. And Karsa making the correct play. You gotta make sure Stake can push out the wave as fast as possible and getting bouncing back towards him, so he doesn't stand there and just get poked down.
Yeah, you can see that Diud and BRTT really don't want to stay in that lane in the bottom when it's even, because you will just get out-traded, so they just go to Crux. They want to rush to level 6. At level 6 you can blow up Kalista or Thresh, if Kalista isn't level 6 herself, obviously, because Fate's Call can deny that. So go back to the lane right now, and not enough vision for Sword Art and NL to really play aggressively here, so I think PN Gaming will be happy with this overall.
The experience in this lane is equal right now, so you talk about rushing level 6, it's not going to be really any kind of advantage for Pain, even with the Krug and the better lane swap play right here. So you mentioned how long Mylon is in the top lane sharing XP, that makes it different.
I mean, where's Stake going? He seems to not want to return to that top lane at all anymore, so panic. He's double jungling with Karsa.
Well, he's
6 minutes into the game.
He's going to go up and grab the wave though. Once he gets pushed down towards him, he's probably just afraid of potentially a gank coming. There's no river control from Flash Rolls. PN Gaming right now doing a very good job of 2 pings to basically deny all that vision, making it hard for Stake to go up there and catch the wave in time.
I love what Sir T is doing here. He doesn't have to do any camps, just shadow the lane, make it so that Mylon can't get ganked. He's already a full level ahead of Stake here. Stake, who had a phenomenal performance in the tournament so far, underrated coming in. This time, he's getting the worst end of it.
And now Mabel hits level 6. So again, we have to look at this matchup. If he's not able to do anything against Kami in the lane, which is so difficult often against Twisted Fate because he can sit so far back and farm, just wild card and then blue card whenever you can, and it's very easy to play safe as a Twisted Fate. Yep. And then you also have teleport. Worst case, you can use it defensively if you have to, because you still have the ulti. So there's a lot of ways for Kami to stay alive in this lane. And then Mabel suddenly will find him in a situation later on in the game where he can't split push because he has no TP, and he can't. Like, he can only look for picks together with the rest of the team, and that's where PN Gaming can do 1-3-1.
Yeah, and that teleport makes it so hard for an and Sword Art to go aggressive and really use that Kalista passive on the W to out-trade, because at any given moment they can get teleported on, use the Fated ultimate upon, and then BRTT and Dio, they can just stay at max range, farm up, get level 6, and Flash was having a hard time finding answers to a lot of their problems right now.
Stake is, luckily for him, able to get the wave up top. He's still behind, absorbing all the minions for himself.
First food of the game for Maple. Last game didn't see many of those. Finally got some for himself here. Feeling a bit better on Ahri. Not getting counter jungled nearly as hard in this one. Look at the game state right here. It's an 1100 gold lead. That is more than the turret is worth. So farm also going well team-wide for PN Gaming.
Since Sir T isn't really necessary in any lane, I'd like him to just join mid, push it out, put some pressure on Maple, and that frees up Kami to go for any roam or gank here, and that could definitely be an aggressive opener here for PN Gaming.
The mind of little Sir T at the moment, though, he is probably communicating that he's slightly behind in experience and he wants to just sit in power form. There are camps available for him, but he keeps looking to this top side because they have that early pink ward in the bush in the river to see if they can punish Stake and keep him down. They're hiding.
Island is stealing red.
He's gonna get red buff. We have Sir T, not level 6 though, remember that. And there's no globals to help the top side. Kami can even come up and 3v1 him, and Mabel can just sit in the mid lane and look.
He's got to be afraid every time Stake goes this way. Ward getting cleared. Rexa's going to show up into the tunnel. This is going to be a bit of a fight. Surti taking a lot of damage. Cleanse used by Maple for almost nothing. Surti gets out.
That was so close. Almost finished off there. Mylon.
Surprised to even walk down to that bush though, because he had nothing he wanted to do towards the mid lane. All they were setting up for was when Stake was taking this big wave up top and just go behind him and gank him. You had red buff Gnar, had TF, and you have your jungler there. Shouldn't have even walked down and had the chance of being spotted by Pink Ward, even though he got to kill it. It meant the play stopped and Stake got to push it out.
And it looked like Maple thought he had Ignite there, because he burned his cleanse at the beginning of the fight when Sir T hadn't even body slammed yet. So I don't know what he thought he was removing. I've made that play before. I've flash barriered someone.
Been that guy.
I've flash barriered some people before and been like, that control 6. Rank 5.
It's when you do the walk of shame back to your tower. And you know you done goofed.
You just type enemy flash timer. Nothing ever happened. Oh dear. Well, 1,300 gold. I mean, Pain Gaming are doing what I think they absolutely must in this game and have a lead early on, but it doesn't mean anything, or everything rather.
And everything Maple
Doesn't mean anything.
Everything Maple did to win this matchup, pick cleanse, play Ahri, kind of goes down the drain. His flash is down, Kami still has flash, so it's almost impossible for Kami to die 1v1, and he should be able to play slightly more aggressive due to that fact, and maybe find an opening. He still hasn't used his ultimate at all, and he hasn't really needed to, but definitely see a lot of plays come out now. Pushing him, it Stakes even running mid is like, hey, do you want to share this farm right now? Sharing is caring after all, because he's getting so screwed in that matchup up top. 30 CS behind him. It doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon.
Probably because of cleanse.
Yep.
Still not sold on the cleanse for Maple.
Oh, it's easy in hindsight.
Yeah.
Hey, said it earlier.
Yeah, true.
Want to see him be able to kill that lane and not just sit and farm even, because Pain Gaming later on highlighted before. The fact you can split up in all 3 lanes with double teleport means for Flash Wolves, unless they start getting ahead in the game now, their map control or their game plan is basically going to be, okay, we gotta look for picks now with this map and we gotta run together. And as long as Pain Gaming has proper defensive vision down, they're just gonna split up and start pushing, and then Flash Wolves have to always go back and defend the lanes.
And look at Kami. He's now spent 4,000 gold in the entire game, and he's bought 0 defensive combat stats. And he even rushed Lucidity Boots with Home Guards with his TF build. So he's not worried at all about Maple's aggression. So he to really play the map, not the mid lane.
I'm just not even sure why you'd run Cleanse to beat up TF. Ignite just is more damage.
Gold Guard stops you going in.
Yeah, but you can just dash once it times out, right? Like
3 dashes to 1 stun.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously
catch him.
I mean, that's what he's Maple's decision with it. Maybe it's also for later in the game, he's afraid of being singled out in a team fight by Kami.
That's true.
And then he gets stuck there and he dies if he's building full blast cannon, as we often expect from an Ahri. So there are reasons for it from him, but it's costing him a lot in the early game, and because the rest of his team, with the way the lane swap went as well, are still behind, except for down the bottom lane where they're 5 CS, 6 CS ahead.
We did say gold defensive capabilities on Kami. He does have a whole lot of move speed. Boots too, with plus the Aether Wisp movement speed upgrade. He's sidestepping a lot of these charms and orbs being thrown at him from Maple, so that's probably his playstyle. You can always see his pacing in the lane is different here. Karsa gets a couple of stacks, but he has to disengage. Kami, at the start of the game, was leaning back, and Maple couldn't really touch it, but right now it's becoming more of a skill matchup where he tries to dodge aggressively.
And Pain is just so happy to continue to farm, because you're ahead in the top lane. Your Tristana, we always know her mid-game with the 1 item spike is not the greatest, so just continue to farm her up. You don't have to risk any early fights against the Kalista. Mylan's the only one going aggressive because he's so far ahead in the lane.
He's going to land the second stun with the ulti there. Already dodged the first Q. He's inside for the second one here, not taking any bleed stacks, and Stake very low. Even eats a house. Mylan goes back to Mini Gnar. Can he hop on the minions? Not going to try. Jump just came back up, but he's pushing his opponent out of lane. He's denying waves under the turret. And the slow press on all the lanes is getting Pain ahead.
And when is Pain Gaming going to close that trap? Mild teleport button. Twisted Fate ulted on the down bottom and try and dive Fennel here on that Kalista. They don't really have to, but it is one of the plays available to them. And Flash Wolves trying to find out how do they exactly come back. They need to start making more aggressive plays and find an outplay, because slowly but surely their goal deficit is getting bigger and bigger over time.
I want to see Karsa just hit where the global is, right in the mid lane. You have that Ahri, go in, land the charm, Karsa comes in. It should have happened long time ago, but Pain Gaming are basically just saying, we don't have to make an aggressive play. We have all the tools to react to whatever you're doing, except for maybe engage on Kami, but he has flash ready. He's sitting so far back in the lane, and there's been some defensive wards around. So Flash Wolves are basically in a situation where like, well, we just have to farm now, I guess.
Yeah. And they're winning the bot lane matchup, actually, weirdly enough. Plus 15 CS here. NL's getting a ton of farm. Bloodthirster's not far away anymore.
Keep in mind that Pain Gaming has been farming the jungle camp every time they had the chance. Give me a little bit extra.
Just have to remember too, Dude has been roaming a lot, so he traded multiple. He's killed 2 pink wards. He's visited mid lane twice. I think that is a fair price to pay for being only 16 CS down and really having your tower. Let's check in the bottom lane. It actually has taken damage though. The bot lane tower could fall on the next push if Dude is not around to defend it. So that could be a swing here for Flash Wolves, and that maybe that's what they're waiting for. Just even out the gold and then start playing more aggressively. Mylon's
going to be there a bit slow. Damage already coming through from the BF Sword NL. Big enough wave, but now they've got to run backwards here. Can't use Hyper.
All Kami has to do is get into Fog of War. He doesn't even have to make the move down bottom. He just has to... The illusion of a TF ulti can be enough pressure to really disincentivize people from playing aggressively in the side lanes.
Well, got a new record here, by the way, guys. 13 minutes, 30 seconds, I believe, is our slowest first blood of the tournament. We're now at 15 minutes here, and
I'm not 100% sure what Pain were looking to do right here, and with now Mylan TPing to the top side, it means Stake can go down bottom lane in case they continue to push, but Pain Gaming were a bit split in their decision. Mylan was down there to defend. They're like, hey, we can maybe push the tower, go Dragon. They're like, no, wait a minute, don't go Dragon because tower is now available and Mylan has the TP back top.
Mylan's presence did generate Pain Gaming that bot lane tower because they chunked down, forced Kalista back, and then left it open for them to take. Then he went back because he really just wants to keep Stake down. In that sense, it was worth it to play, but they are playing now with teleport behind.
Well, the thing, they've done this twice now. Mylan TP'd up to his lane much earlier on in the game, and Stake never, ever was able to capitalize on this one. With Mylan pushing into him so much, it feels like Stake can't even leave this lane. That's what it looked like anyway. Pain happy to use TP literally just for farm.
Not a fan of BT first on Kalista anymore after the changes to her AD ratios. Went down. I think Blade of the Ruined King is so much better for her. NL, look at that as his first item though, so a little bit more survivability.
It's a Q-Max too. It's a Q-Max Kalista, so it is very
don't like that either. It's very old school.
Yeah, it's too old school. It doesn't work. It's too front-loaded, especially when the Dude can position and can deny your entire damage combo.
Well, Pain got the inside track in the mid lane, but without the teleport and without their Gnar being anywhere nearby, they were a bit too afraid to push for this one. Turret finally takes some more damage. Dragon was the pickup here for Flash Wolves. They trade mid lane turret for that.
But you can basically see what's happening. Pain Gaming didn't have to make any aggressive plays, but just because Flash Wolves knows they can never gank anywhere outside of mid lane potentially, but that has been warded every time, and Kami has been standing so far back. Well, not calling wildcard because he's throwing them out. But Flash Wolves are basically just stuck in a situation where only thing you can do is try and group and then create that one pick.
Pain Gaming, wildcard team after all.
Yeah. Kami is truly an international wildcard.
I guess it fits in on a lot of ways then.
Flash was though disappointing. They came in with this mentality, it seems, in this game to really not make any plays. This is the first real play we maybe have seen him, some aggressive vision. Overall playing incredibly scared, and if you allow Twisted Fate and a couple of teleports to change your mindset, to alter your mindset into a passive farm mode, then the damage is already kind of done. You can even make a play, get punished by TF ulti, then make another play where you can't commit, using the fact that you have stronger lanes and maybe get ahead that way. But if you're playing this incredibly scared against a Kami that hasn't really stepped into any of the brushes so far to even threaten you with ulti, feel Flash Wolves, they may have to play a little harder.
Well, unfortunately, Flash Wolves were happy to take their time and lick their wounds and make a comeback up against Ku Tigers with a more poke-oriented team. This one, of course, is not that.
Yeah,
Pain Gaming, as far as teams that qualified for Worlds, had the slowest average game time for wins. I mean, it was over 40 minutes for them to close games out. And they didn't even lose any games in their qualifier. They were just dominating people.
And that's the scary thing, because this is exactly what Pain wanted, a slower early game. They can now use the globals as well. They're going for Stake.
And they're going to go for it. Here we go. Stake might be what's for dinner. The whole team comes in, flashes the wall to get out, and Mylan whiffs the hop. Flashes, gets first blood. Karsa's next. No one's in range for him.
Stakes were made.
Stakes were made.
It was actually really close to getting that lantern there from Sword Art. So bold flash there from Mylan. He wanted Stake because he could have opted to go for Karsa there instead, but gets the first blood. Sends a message too at the same time. So Stake very far behind right now, and This is kind of like the reputation he had coming into the tournament, you know? Just gets behind and top absorbs.
But this really was just a matter of time for PN Gaming. I feel like we keep looking at it, how Flash Wolves cannot make plays because of double teleport. Mabel was in top lane pushing that out, so obviously they know, well, we can just go on the bot side. There's no chance of the Ahri being there. And right now, all they have to do is stay alive in this mid lane, and they've been winning out big time.
Dude loses flash, and he whiffs the ultimate. There comes the engage. Karsa picks up the kill on a Dude, and L's going to try to throw in Sword Art right into range. Body slam away just in time for Sir T. Will dodge away from Flay. 3 turrets to 1, though. PN Gaming have capitalized on that first kill. We'll see if anything can come back now for Flash Wolves. The Summoner Teleport used by Twisted Fate.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. You just force the play, force TF to use his Destiny, then make another play when Destiny's on cooldown. At least Teleport takes some channel time, 3 to 4 seconds to really complete. That is maybe what Flash Wolves have to do. If they did this more in the entire early game with Kalista ultis and potential outplays, they could have had a better early game. They sat back way too much.
And right here for Flash Wolves, I don't think their solution is to go back to mid lane when TF just teleported in, where he can wave split and team can defend it. What you needed to do here is you need to take your team, when you know the other team is just use cooldown, some of them is back in base, get into the jungle. Get in there, deny some vision, because you have an Ahri. She's so fantastic if the enemy has to walk in blind, get a charm in the face, but instead you value pushing in another wave in mid, and then you don't gain anything. Yeah,
this is one of those plays that just loses you the tempo, the momentum. Call it whatever you want. If you base the members that need to base, if you put some vision, you can start making picks. Flash Wolves, in their win, played around their composition strengths, using the poke to their advantage. Right now, I don't think they even know what the identity of their team comp is, and they're failing to identify that, let alone play around it.
They have like the solo queue all-star team, though. Everyone loves playing these champions. You've seen these time and again. But yeah, what's the dedicated synergy here? BRTT is pretty much safe in the back line. Only Ahri can expect to reach that Tristana. TF's going to be safe, throwing out low cooldown cards. Lichbane's already done. Zhonya's is next.
We might never see PN Gaming even go into a 5 versus 5 team fight. They're going to look to just pick off a target instead with the double global for themselves. Mabel is in the top lane, but again, he's now stuck here. So down on the bottom side, Stake is now stuck as well, fighting a matchup he's not going to win. A matchup he's been losing all game long, so slowly again, PN Gaming can chip away some damage on these towers. And there's no response from Flash Wolves unless they catch out a guy who's then out of position.
Actually, interesting that Mylon did go for Black Cleaver over Frozen Mallet here in this matchup. So far, whenever we've seen Gnar, I think we've seen more Frozen Mallets overall just to keep that distance against Stake. Maybe this indicates that he's not even...
Close.
He doesn't even want to kite Stake anymore, just wants to straight up kill him because he's so far ahead of the curve.
And he has the backup.
He does have the backup. If later on, though, PN Gaming can't close, Stake has the opportunity to duel Mylon at least.
Oh yeah, Mylon going to be definitely more of a damage threat this way. Stake able to run away for this one. Karso looking for the knockup, would have to flash to do it. Does not go for that one against BRTT.
I do like the pink ward that was just placed by Flash Wolves here. Trying to, again, when we see just up the on top of your screen next to the Flash Wolves logo, basically, you're trying to have some blind spots where PN Gaming would normally be moving around in the jungle because they want to always send guys down so they can be close to Mylon when he's pushing all the way up to the tier 2 tower, and then maybe a charm or hook or whatever is coming in and catching a guy, and that's the way again to create a kill and then get a tower.
Definitely agree. If you're playing any sort of pick compositions, Fog of War is your friend. If you look at EDG, they do it fantastically well, especially in their series against IG, and in their regionals, they just use those pink wars, hide a couple of members there, and even if they know, they could be anywhere. And that is the advantage of Fog of War and just good vision control.
The problem is, PN Gaming knows exactly where it is, and they're not afraid of sitting down the river and just zoning Flash Wolves away. Look for Mabel and what position he can get when the fight breaks out. If he reaches the backline instantly, he can still take them down. He has Death Gap completed, so he's very farmed. Fight will break out. Mylon is coming in.
He's got the TP on towards the side. Sir T comes in, the knock it. Oh, Maple's gone. And now the fight continues. Sword Art pulled back. Sir T's got to run. Ignites on him. And the Gragas will survive. NL's the next one. Easy pickup. Karsa had gotten the kill on a Sir T in the back lines, but Kami going in. He's got his number. Yep, there we go.
Complete slaughter here from PN Gaming. Aggressive move before Flash Wolves can even get their full lineup to the Dragon area. They just immediately aggress and take out one of the carries, and then at that point the fight's already over.
Again, you play Ahri, you play the pick composition. When you have to run down and the other team have full vision of you, the pick potential is gone. It's not there because they can see everything. All you have to do is dodge around that single target CC that's flying out, and then PN Gaming is more than fine. They were happy just engaging onto it. Mylon came in, he had Mega Gnar popping about a second later.
Yep.
And too easy for Pain Gaming really to clean up the fight. This Kalista pick is by no means paying off, also because NL is building his wrong. And he has like no real spike in this game.
Well, the last 2 years of the World Championship took to the very last day of the group stage for a wildcard team to get their first and only win of the World Championship. Here we're just in the first half of the groups, and Pain Gaming looking sizably ahead here over the Flash Wolves. Team that had just yesterday taken down the #1 team in this group right now, the Coup Tigers. This group is actually looking much closer than we may have expected coming in.
The one weakness, though, is Pain Gaming's tendency to play incredibly small games. If they ever, make a mistake and don't really water Baron enough, Flash Wolves do have the potential to sneak it and finish it off with Kalista. Have to be careful for that. Right now, they're denying vision, so they're actually playing to their strengths, which is picking off in Fog of War.
Oh. Well, at least they got on the blue buff back. A nice slow from Mylon, gets charmed. Get the slow again on a stake. This could be the target they're going for. They're going to arrive right in. Mylon's the front line, but he's too low to transform before dying. BRTT does kill off stake. The rest of the team disengaging.
Once again, though, look how confident Pain Gaming is because they see all members from Flash Wolves. Nobody's going to die in the backline, so BRTT just walks forward. He picks whatever target he wants. So he is there trying to single out targets as well. And Mylon didn't get Mega Null while he was on top of 5 members, but at least he pulled, or he was part of the fight starting. And Pain Gaming just constantly can pick whatever target they want and take them down. Flash Wolves, all they have to do, all they can do really, is just run.
Well, they're going to try to defend right now. Hook on a BRTT. Oh, the shield's in front, but it's not enough. NL gets the kill, and Flash Wolves strike back and save the turret.
Bit too overconfident right there. You can expect that Thresher really, really nicely clipped next to the minions right there. But BRTT should never get caught, and DU could have positioned slightly better than Unbreakable, but...
Nice little hook though from Sword Art.
Really good hook.
Just so close to the minions that you think you are just hiding behind it, and then you get pulled in anyway and ends up dying.
Bend the hook.
Bend it, man.
Watch that again.
UTT off on the very bottom. So he's actually just in front of him and just barely tags the corner of his model.
But you can definitely see what he's thinking to himself. Oh, I'm so close to me. I just got to move a step further and I'm behind it. And then the hook flies out and gets 1 kill for Flash Wolves. Didn't manage to get anything else. 1 TP is available for Pain Gaming. And as you said before here, quick shot. It's very important now that they start making more plays. We've seen a few team fights coming in from them. And that's what they need to keep doing.
See if they can find the way in. They've got Ahri, they've got Thresh, and they've even got Darius teleport plays to maybe get these fights started. But Pain Gaming have so far been running him around the map, up a turret and up 2 kills, up 3,000 gold. That's the road ahead for Pain Gaming here. Flash Wolves, though, they came back from behind before.
Pain Gaming, if they can actually push mid lane, they actually have a really good play to be made on the Baron there. Triple pink ward set up already, but Maple's hovering around the mid lane. Kami wants to put pressure now. If they can lock them into the 1-3-1, it's so hard to get out of that pit, out of that lock, especially when you have a couple teleports and globals available. So, let's see if that works out.
And you're gonna see the entire river being watered up by Pain Gaming, so Maple can never sneak in behind anyone. Maybe a play he can make. It's risky, but as he goes up towards the top side of the map, and then when Kami is pushing it in, you try and jump him and get the kill. Problem is, again, Flash wasn't available this time, but getting up there and not being spotted by the wards is the problem, because once he shows on top side, Pain Gaming can just make a play on the other side of the map.
And Pain are already set up for this one. They've got 2 wards on that eastern jungle. Mylon's set up to continue pushing every single wave and whittle down this bottom turret. The move towards him will be spotted, so Mylon should be safe pretty much at all times. There's the ulti by TF to make sure.
I'm not a big fan of what Kami did in the last minute. He went top to push out.
Now 2 guys on bot side.
Yeah, he went top to push out 1 wave. There's too many wards there in the area, so Pain Gaming not confident. He went top to get 1 wave, base, block mid, ultied right now, ultied back top. He could have just stayed top. He had plenty of vision to keep split pushing, and Pain Gaming, they completely sacked their vision control. So I think we're starting to discover here why Pain Gaming's game times go so long, because they make maybe the right decision 2 or 3 times in a row, but then they add a mistake to that. And if you really want to close out games efficiently, it has to be 4, 5, 6 right decisions in a row, and then you punish your opponents.
Luckily for Pain Gaming, because Flash Wolves have been forced so far back on the map, the passive mistake they're making right now hasn't really resulted in anything for Flash Wolves, but they might get a kill on the
Pretty active mistake. Yeah, Mylon in the front of the team, thankfully blocked out by a shield. Dude now, the man hooked in, line and sinker. Down he goes. Maple takes him out, 5-4. Kill's getting closer.
I mean, go back 3 minutes. The entire setup that we were talking about, 3 pink wards in the river, 1-3-1 split push available. What happened? It all fell apart. Now suddenly, Mylon, why was he even there? There's absolutely no reason that I can fathom why your top laner should be there at this point in the game.
And look at Flash Wolves immediately into the jungle they go, over towards the Baron area. Scuttle Crab's gonna despawn. They've actually killed every single ward here. There's no vision left. They're baiting instead of starting it.
They have to, because there's 2 teleports available. They know they will get collapsed upon. They see Ahri. This may be good though.
There's a mini now, by the way.
Ward over the wall, and
Stay in commit though if you are the Flash.
Tommy cancels the teleport. So shorter TP cooldown for this Twisted Fate, but both are down right now.
I mean, 1 bait generating 2 teleports. I think you can be happy with that. Oh, not a perfect amount of vision here. They're rotating back to Dragon area. Dragon's about to spawn, I believe, yeah.
And Mylon went top lane without teleport. When the Dragon timer is there on the scoreboard, you press tab and you know it's going to be up already. Pain realized, oh, too late, we can't get it. That's our mistake.
They didn't keep tabs on the Dragon spawner.
Didn't keep tabs on it.
Much like the Lions.
Too soon. I was like, do I make that reference in my position? Nope. What a reckless jump there.
But that was good by Pain Gaming though. They ran up to the top lane. They did group up. They realized, hey, whoa, okay, we can go top turret then instead.
Yeah.
You still saw Mylon head down to the river to realize late.
See the hesitation. They're not planning ahead. They're planning in the moment. And when you plan in the moment, very often a team that is more strategically adept will just outmaneuver you.
You often lose yourself in the moment.
Jesus Christ.
So worth the dough for Pain for getting that top tower. Problem for them now is they just need to get more pink wards around this Baron. They had a single one. They had multiple before, but then they moved away from it, gave it over to Flash Wolves, bought them a little bit more time. Pain Gaming, in their mind, is not in a hurry.
No, never are. But they're up 5,000 gold. Flash Wolves do have the Dragon lead. LMS teams actually love to snowball Dragon. Flash Wolves are no exception here. They're a bit used to this kind of scenario.
You got 2 dragons at 31 minutes. That's a slow snowball.
But based on Pain's average game time, we're going to see Dragon 5 anyway.
That is the problem though, when you have slow games. Absolute gold leads of really decent values, as you see the youth get hooked here, say 2,000, 3,000 gold. In the earlier stages of the game, they mean a lot, but as the game goes on and just gold generates on both these teams, relatively speaking, they become nullified almost entirely. And if you don't really make any other additional moves to increase that gold advantage, Flash Wolves do have a distinct possibility to come back into this game.
Yeah, this really is the moment for Flash Wolves now, because Mylon doesn't have teleport. Kami's on the bottom side because he's the only one with the global, but Stay can hold that one 1v1. So you have to take full river control now from Flash Wolves' side. Problem is, they haven't prepared for this themselves, so they have no additional pink wards to place at the Baron to force a potential fight, force Pain Gaming to come and face check you. So Pain Gaming can just sit back now and say, okay, we're just going to clear the waves, and then we're just going to wait for our cooldowns. Our TPs are going to be up in 2 minutes, and then we can go back to playing 1-3-1.
And the way this Baron dance is playing out is something you see of mostly amateur teams trying to make it into LCS, or inexperienced LCS teams. They're a step behind. They don't get perfect de-warding of the area, and then very often the team can sneak in a ward, just like the ward that Karsa actually just cleared, and that one ward just tells the entire story. Did they move into pit? No. Then they have to be in any of these bushes. Do we need to check that? No, because they're just baiting. And you waste an entire team time with just one ward. And you really have to make sure that you have perfect vision control if you want to go for these baits.
And Flash Wolves knew the TP was down, because them baiting the Baron 5 minutes ago, or 4 minutes ago, was what forced the teleport. That's why as a team you instantly got to say, okay, for the next 4 minutes, we can now set up vision around that Baron because they don't have the global advantage, and we can potentially get a fight. That's our way back. That's our way to use our Ahri now, who's been farming and farming and farming, but they only went back and bought like a single pink ward. It was placed outside of the Baron. Now they're starting it. Pain Gaming is around. Kami's already popped his
Kami's pretty far away. He's got to run across the map. 8,000 health on Baron, but it's enough to make the team run away. A Lantern out. Destiny the only spell burn for this one. And Pain get to take away the wards. Mylon just sidesteps the hook, and they might be going for a bit more. Meganar lands a slow onto NL, jumps right in, the flash stun. But where exactly is his team? They're not anywhere around here. Mylon dies for nothing. What was that?
He saw the big play right in front of him. I can get a 5-man Gnar ulti at a World Championship.
Highlight reel. Wants to get the Penta.
Problem was the rest of his team already running back towards the mid lane.
They weren't even like killing Baron. Like, I could understand if it was a bait and Baron was at 2,000 health, but it was like 8k. It wasn't even close.
I just want to go back to the setup from this play. Flashwolf starting that Baron was a play forced by Pain Gaming. When you do repetitive Baron base, you play the map on 2 lanes, mid lane and top lane, and you leave bot lane exposed. And very often teams join in into that Baron dance party. That's why nothing happens, because nobody really uses the 3rd lane to push. When Kami goes bot to push, that prompts Flashwolves to actually have a reaction. The only reaction is to start Baron. So good move by Pain Gaming. The problem right is, right move, wrong move. Every single time by Pain Gaming so far in this match. They can't really get a successive streak of good decisions, and that's what's putting them behind every time.
Well, it's the first team to chain together a bunch of good decisions that might win this one. Flashwolves playing from a 5,000 gold deficit, though. Need a lot of things to go their way.
Forcing the bait again, hiding around it, even trying to show they're shooting spells in there, and you can go in. So they get the first cooldown for it. Down the bottom lane, Mylan is now pushing with teleport, so Stake will have to go back and catch that wave, unless he can maybe flash engage. Obviously not really why you pick the Darius. You want something to start to fight for him, which has again been a big problem for Flashwolves in how they always have to play around the shadows, denying vision, and it's not been really possible for them to start the Baron.
But they know.
TP has to come in. Mega Knight is going to come from Mylan. He's coming from the right side, sorry.
From the left, here it comes in, jumps back. Oh, hops too far. He hopped off ahead. Ulti comes in. The Gragas to split him up. Stake in the front lines, trying to survive. He needs to land a Q. Won't find anyone to hit, though. First kill comes through. Surti is dead, and Karsa is next. Both junglers down. A 1-for-1 Flashwolves routed.
And when you make these Baron plays, instead of putting the pink ward in the pit, use one sweeper once, place the pink ward outside. You really can't afford to have those wards that Pain Gaming placed at the edge to see you enter the pit, because you don't need a pink ward in the pit, because you will see when people get closer. So this is very entry-level Baron plays here from Pain Gaming, from Flashwolves overall, and they get punished for it.
I got so baited by that teleport. I want to say it was the correct place, but it was on the left side.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Place
it was both
on the
right and left at the same
Isn't
time.
English a terrible language?
Yeah.
Where right literally meant the correct and the incorrect thing at the same time, but all the same, Pain Gaming were already in position for the Dragon. They get it clean, they can walk back towards Baron. This shouldn't be too bad. It is going to be started by Flashwolves.
Very far away.
They got this. They got this.
Just completely gave up the Baron control.
It's spotted. It's down to 3,000. Early smite to set up for the Rend. Shouldn't be hard. There it is. Picked up cleanly. NL can't miss that one.
I just see, to paint a picture for the people that can't see, the Fiss takes a step backwards and angrily starts shaking his head like a disappointed father at this point.
Yeah.
For Dragon, Flashwolves now in a commanding position here. 4,000 gold deficit. They can make up so much of this. 1,500 already earned in the Baron kill itself. There is a Zeke set up for BRTT. The actual team fight got good again for Pain Gaming, but they're up against Baron and they're up against Siege.
Best play Flashwolves could hope for here. Trade Dragon for Baron. No teleport for Mylan. It was used earlier, so you have now the lanes you can push down. If you are Flashwolves, land one hook or a charm, and you just go all in on that one, because you have the damage to take down some of these members. Problem is you just never had the opening.
And we've talked about this before. Split pushing teams both benefit and get punished a lot. You know, Baron teams get Mylon.
Yep, hooked right in. Get a lot of damage through. Nearly takes him out. The flash hook. It's blocked. Mylan will live, but Diud might fall, and he is killed off. Stake gets the ulti, fears all the minions. They're going to keep pushing forward now. Another turret goes down. They've got a lot to do.
Pain Gaming, they were making decisions in the moment. They weren't planning ahead. 30 seconds max was how far they were planning ahead, and they actually caught up with them. They had a massive lead in the Euro to mid game, but they didn't expand or build on that lead at all. And now Flashwolves got the Baron and an inhibitor.
They even still have a Goldie, but you can see how little that matters for Pain here. Flashwolves, the inhib goes down. They've still got a Baron buff for another 80 seconds, by the way. They can go for round 2 and knock another one down.
Passive play in the start for Pain Gaming was okay. We look at the first 15, 16 minutes where they could wait for the play to happen and just farm up. But then action had to start. Mylan is the guy who's getting caught out at first. I mean, doesn't die, but the rest of his team have to jump in front of him.
There's no communication. Kami is pathing down to the bot lane, and Mylan is posturing aggressively. He has to know that at least one of these targets will engage on himself. Pain Gaming trying to defend both lanes at once, as if Flashwolves are not going to make any moves whatsoever, so no foresight at all, just no planning. Poor communication has been the downfall of Pain Gaming.
Well, Unfortunate for them, they had a good lead. Couldn't hold on to it. Flash Wolves, their second comeback now. They were behind against CLG early on in game one, nearly brought that one back. Took on the Coup Tigers, got behind early again. Maple got crushed in lane. They found a way to make poke comp work. They won that one this time around. And now against Pain Gaming, 5,000 gold down for most of this one. Get one great Baron call, trading it for a dragon. And now the siege continues with Baron buff for 15 more seconds.
For Sword Art.
Well, sadly,
His hookup ruined by that apprehend from Stake. But Flash was so confident that even when Unbreakable is up, they're choosing to charm the support. Milo needs another hook, has Mega Nard.
He's nearly got Mega Nard.
well, Flash was just gonna wait now.
He's
and then
gonna go.
Pain's
Gets
going
the
in.
stun. NL cleanses out, and the front line is in front. Stake gets the kill, but he's gonna drop, and now Kami gets one in. BRTT safe in the back line. Baron buff ends, and it's a 2-for-1.
Very good engage though coming from Pain Gaming. They know they have super minions coming in on the top side, so they had to do something. Flash was wanting to back away and wait for those super minions and then move in and take the tower. Instead though, Milan gets in there. 3-man ulti, I believe, this time around.
Kami still has some form of wave clear, but it's still too much of a threat. Maple could make the play, and so back they go. Turret goes down.
And so many mistakes on both these sides, because Flash Wolves, with any bit of patience, they could have waited for this to happen 30 seconds later. That fight would have never happened. There's no reason to really put a Nard in Mega Nard this early. Just wait for the minions to push in bot lane, get another tower. Let's watch that again. Milo on 80%. You don't want to hook that guy.
You see how the rest of the team is like, no, just back
That's
guys.
way too
you
far
don't have
up.
to go for an end moves forward.
He has USS, so
2-man engage from Mylon to start it at least. Stake goes in, does drop after getting the kill. A long axe from him. Casa goes down as well, and it means Pain Gaming can go back and defend the Nexus turrets.
Didn't know you could fade away dunk. That seems really hard to do physically, but
Through the axe, forward.
he threw it forward. Okay.
depends, I guess, on what part of the animation you fade. Because earlier we saw somebody flash out of
game
the
mechanics, of course.
Yeah.
So any melee ability that's like literally melee, if they don't go into fog, it'll complete. But if they do, like if they flash from a brush or over a wall you haven't warded, then it will cancel. That's how that stuff pretty much always works.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw the opposite happen earlier. I think when he flashed off mid dunk animation, he flashed a roll into fog.
Yeah. I was more making a physics joke that human beings couldn't do that, but Stake is
Have you never watched Space Jam?
I was gonna make the reference actually to Space Jam, but you cut me off for talking about mechanics. But that
Baited and outsmarted.
clearly. That's sad. I got outsmarted by Greppo.
That must hurt.
It does. It's okay. I'll regain my pride with some jokes later on. Right now, though, Pain Gaming still up 2,000. Like they are refusing to say die. The problem is their base is in shambles, and Flash Wolves have all the control.
Yeah, suddenly your double teleport adds very little value when you're standing down towards your own base.
Baron has faded though, so wave clear becomes so much easier. Kami can almost destroy this wave in one wild card combo.
No chance of killing off Karsa. Just clears the wave angrily. Luden's Echo is in, plus a Void Staff, so full build for Kami right now. This is as basically damaging as you're going to get on this guy. And all the gold that he can use to earn, you can see he's up 100 CS over some of his teammates there. That's going to mean nothing, and some of this gold is going to lie to you on Pain.
Basically, the opening for Pain Gaming now is once they know Flash Wolves is going to go towards that Baron, start setting it up, you need that bot lane pushing already beforehand, so that's even with Stake, and then push up the top side as well. So have the 3 lanes going for you in terms of the minions before Flash Wolves goes down to set up the Baron, because then suddenly they might feel forced to back away again to go up and clear these 3 waves being pushed in, and then suddenly Pain Gaming can move in, clear away the pink wards, and get control themselves. And that, I mean, they have to now force a fight where Flash Wolves have to engage onto them. Otherwise, Flash Wolves can just slowly wait for the opening, but they start Baron again with Rend and take it.
What worries me is that right now, look at that Ruby Crystal that, for example, Sir T just picked up. That could have been a trinket upgrade. That could have built into either an improved sweeping lens if you really want to play around vision, which Pain Gaming doesn't want to do, but that could have been a secondary scrying orb to really see whether Flash Wolves are starting or baiting the Baron. Having that information without having to expend Destiny could mean the difference between losing and winning a fight.
Still need this bot lane here pushing for Pain Gaming. It's so key that they can force them back and not just have to walk in towards this Ahri here over and over. Mylon looking to see if he can do anything. Meganar is very close for him, but they have to worry about the massive wave. So they're going to push up now, but Flash Wolves can just move into mid lane as well, and they know where Pain Gaming is moving.
Someone's still got to go take control of the bot lane. Of course, they've got 2 teleport users, so either one can go do it. But Kami, again, has no more income to put to use here. It probably should be Mylon. But with the setup around Baron, Flash Wolves are nearby. Karsa Chunked a little bit.
Do you like this though from Pain Gaming, how aggressively they pushed up mid so they could move in and sit up near the Baron? Starting it is very risky though because Flash Wolves, they are still nearby.
Sword on the front line, hooks into you. Charm hits him as well. The tank doing his job. Surti hooked in and they get the first kill. Karsa goes down, but they trade back onto Surti. Mylan only hits Sword Art with the Meganar. BRTT into the back line, gets the first kill, pushes back Stake, and here comes the rest of the push. Stake has very little left to do, can't get the kill. A triple for BRTT, and Kami maybe gets the last one, an ace.
I'm very impressed with the aggression from Pain Gaming and BRTT, but I don't understand Maple. Every single time the Youth puts up his Unbreakable, he not only leashes the Charm on me, also the Orb of Deception, the Prodigal gets destroyed. He is becoming, instead of an AoE monster in these fights, a single target damage dealer on the support. Really big misplay by Flash Wolves, but credit to Pain Gaming because they're looking to close out.
And would you believe it, every single team in this group has a win, and every single team in this group has a loss. They're only one game away from first place right now, and Pain Gaming take a win over the Flash Wolves. We said it was the group of life. Every single one of these teams has some life.
Just these Barons just makes me so... Baron baiting as a concept isn't a beautiful thing, but it's just so poorly executed.
I think we can just talk very quickly about what Pain Gaming did here in the end to set up for that last Baron and what Flash Wolves did as well. Basically, Pain Gaming instant push up the mid lane, and despite Flash Wolves having their wards in the river and their control, they decided to say, okay, we're not going to hold this here, so we have the vision around the Baron and we don't have to run into you. They left, they walked behind to catch the one wave with 5 members. So Pain Gaming was like, okay, well that's now super easy for us to move straight to Baron, cleared our start at the Baron, so now suddenly Flash Wolves had to walk down, and we've seen time and time again, when Maple and the rest of the team walks head first into Pain Gaming, it's very easy to block his damage and avoid him getting onto the back line. So Pain Gaming didn't even need that side lane pushing. They otherwise could have forced Flash Wolves to give up the Baron control and go clear out the waves. They just walked straight up mid. Flash Wolves was like, okay, let's go clear the minions. And that was the opening for Pain Gaming. That's how they got into the